The RBI
Yeah.
and the government, I think RBI has already issued a circular
Sure.
asking financial services companies to maintain all data of Indians within the boundaries, jurisdiction of Indian boundaries. The new data security privacy norms will also require almost all internet and financial services companies to maintain the data and host the data within India. How is American Express planning to deal with this?
So we are fully aware of the circular that came out, and we are in engagement with the RBI and the industry players at this stage.
Okay. Blockchain is another major area which is emerging in the financial services industry, and now it's sort of getting into almost every part of the economy and our lives. So, how is it that American Express as an organization, and specifically Amex India, planning to adopt blockchain in your in your business and in the way you deal with the consumer?
So Rajiv, there are no immediate plans, and having said that, whenever there is any development, technology is at the forefront of what we want to do. DNA is very much innovation is in our DNA, and we would want to make sure that we are on top of things as and when they evolve. But at this point in time, there is no plan with when it comes to blockchain.
As far as the card industry is concerned, what do you see as the biggest challenge coming up for you? And are there other innovations that you can talk about which you might be working on where there could be game changers possible in this arena?
So there are lots of them, but one or two that straight come to mind. Bharat QR as an example. It's a global first, and it's an amazing way to get financial inclusion going, because on an average, a point of sale terminal costs 10 to 12,000 rupees. Not all the merchants can afford that, especially when you get into tier 3 and tier 4 cities. So and with the proliferation of smartphones, almost all the merchants would have a smartphone. So we are very much down that journey where we would like to have the merchants in smaller locations now use Bharat QR. And the good part of it is, while it's a global first, it's interoperable. So all the networks can operate at the same time. It becomes very, very easy for a merchant and a card member to transact. So that probably is where the future lies in terms of card acceptance. Contactless is another place where as tolls and metros and all start going, I would see more and more tap and pay being used. India was one of the first markets anyway. One of the, when you look at chip and pin, which was now been in the market for 6-7 years, that's gone a long way in giving people comfort that security should not be a concern. And it's, when you look at the fraud rates are actually very low in India. So innovations are something which are here to stay. They'll keep happening, because the market is evolving at a very rapid pace. And whether it is in terms of, acquiring new customers, on how they acquire it, digitally, because that's where the whole journey is headed, to how they transact with us digitally. We spoke about EasyClick as one such innovation, and then things like how they're serviced. So you have chatbots and stuff like that, which is probably the way forward.
So it seems, at least in the Indian financial services industry, the NPCIL has become as some kind of a pivot around which a lot of innovations are happening. Now, what do you make of the role that NPCIL has played in this whole ecosystem? And do you think it has really become the center of many of the innovations that are coming, whether it is Bheem, whether it is the Bharat QR as well? So how do you see this whole ecosystem evolving around this?
I think when you look at the India payment ecosystem, it's a very cohesive body. We all work together very often. We have in RBI a very forward-looking regulator. So whenever they come up with any regulations, they do involve the banks. And then we come together as a part of IBA. Within that, NPCI is a player who's, they are also very aggressively expanding the footprint. And, so there is, with the overall financial inclusion, digitalization, the vision that RBI and the government have set for the next 2-3 years, I think it's very cohesive, and American Express is a very strong believer in the way the journey is being set forth.
Right, Mr. Adlakha, thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Good to talk to you.
Likewise. Thank you.